Hi, I'm Ronald Dwayne Whitfield and my wife Brandi Brene Charles. We have to respond to an issue that's going on involving us in the First Court of Appeals of Houston, Texas, in docket number 01-18-00311-CV and 01-18-00485-CV. With respect to the Anders brief, to the honorable judges of said court, and to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, this will be our official complaint and my wife's Anders brief response. Brandon's authorized me to speak for her. We will put that in writing for purposes of Texas Civil Practice and Remedy Code, Section 131.01, or rather 001, at sequential, and Title 28, United States Code, Section 1746, affidavit. The former relates to Texas law for unsworn declaration, which carries the same as a declaration under perjury. So what I'm stating, I'm making clear, is under perjury. Under Texas Government Code, defining an affidavit, and goes on to defining in writing. In writing can be in spoken words as well, by definition. But we'll probably take the time, likely will take the time, and still do a written affidavit. But I just want to let it be known that I'm well trained in the law. I don't usually, do a lot to. Anyway, so again, if I didn't say, today is Saturday, August 11, 2018. We will be making a formal complaint with the United States Department of Human Health and Services, or Health and Human Services, and my wife will put the court on notice of what she has to say with respect to her response she's allowed to make for this Anders response. And so, having received her authorization, I start here. This is Texas law, but put in a format by the UT Health Harris County Psychiatric Center. It goes on to say this: court ordered and involuntary services. Arrangements to obtain a court order for mental health services may be made through the Mental Health Division of the Harris County Clerk's Office, located at HCPC 2800 South McGregor Way, Houston, Texas 77021. It is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, except holidays. The telephone number for the world to call is 713-741-6024. Anyone over the age of 18 who has personal knowledge of someone they believe poses a danger to himself or to herself or to others may request a mental health warrant. Involuntary commitment process for adults. Well, in order for my wife, Brandi, to have been committed involuntarily to any mental health facility in the state of Texas and in Harris County, is to begin this way. To begin the involuntary commitment process, the applicant, in this case, it would be the doctor of Memorial Hermann Hospital that claimed to have discussed matters with my wife. I have no personal knowledge of what was stated. So, but he would be the applicant, person who is filing for commitment, requests and completes an application for a warrant from the Mental Health Division. From who class? From the Mental Health Division of Harris County Clerk's Office at HCPC. Thank you. MHMRA staff located at HCPC screen first applicants once a bed is available. A warrant may then be issued by the Harris County Clerk's Office. The whereabouts of the person must be known so that a Harris County Deputy Constable may take the person to Harris County PC. Who may do this, class? A Harris County Deputy Constable may take the person to HCPC. Thank you. The HCP physician. Who? The HCP physician must provide a medical certificate within 24 hours of the patient's admission in order for the court to determine if it is necessary to issue an order of protective custody, OPC. Once the OPC, which we are told is an order of protective custody, is issued, and our attorney is appointed to the case. So it becomes a case, people. Probate courts number 3 and 4, the judge of which we were married, are located at HCPC. And we were married on June 6th of 2016. So stay with me, world. They thought they was dealing with a damn fool. Okay, so the physician, the Harris County PC physician, must provide a medical certificate within 24 hours of the patient's admission in order for the court to determine if, why am I not, well, you couldn't hardly see it if I did it that way, would you? Yes. Okay, well, let me back up then. I didn't think to do it this way. This is where I had to go. I went over there several times, and they got surveillance and they got audio. I want the world, in the meanwhile, I want you to go on YouTube to Last Prophet Ronald Dwayne Whitfield's YouTube channel, and I want you to look at a video, please. I can't tell you what to do. I can only make requests to you to do this. But please go to my YouTube channel at Last Prophet Ronald Dwayne Whitfield, and listen to the conversation, not only of these people telling you that my wife had never been there, but also to the conversation with the FBI agent, Special Agent Brian Collins, and myself. We had an exchange. It kind of got into a little argument. But because this is now supposed to go to a complaint, and the FBI will have to do a lot of things. They're going to have to turn over phone recording so that the Office of Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Human Health and Service, or Health and Human Service, can hear the conversation, the exchange between Special Agent Brian Collins and Dr. Cardona. But let me get on back where we were, because they pushed us to go here. We didn't, we was gonna just bring a lawsuit, but they're making us go this far. We didn't want to go this direction. We thought we'd just do a simple food and water strike, but now you got us going after a giant corporation. Now you got us going after. So therefore, God will step in, because you can't murder me, kill me, or do anything to me and my wife, because you pushed us to go this far. You already knew I knew how this goes. You already knew I had this information. And finally, before I resume reading this, for the benefit of God's enemies, we have already obtained the mental health records from the Harris County Probate Court Office, okay? So that means it's impossible for you to do anything but be arrested and indicted. other than that. All right. So the probate court number 3 or 4, I think we were married by the judge of probate court 3. It's either 3 or 4. So the very judge that married us, for which the Harris County Attorney's Office claims that they could not find our marriage certificate, so that they could, but you couldn't even do that in the first place. But let me make it clear here. What they did was allege that I was an alleged father. An alleged father has no rights, people. So the court does not have to listen to him. I am, in Texas, what they call the legal father, the presumed father. The court's got to listen to him, because we're a lot of people, as it's on the internet, tell you, like it is explained on the internet, a lot of people will be surprised to learn that just because you are shown to be the biological father of a child, in the eyes of the court, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You have to, in order to have legal rights, even though you may be the biological father, and that I am, I wouldn't give my DNA. They had to go get it. They went and got DNA through my mother, and now they know Caden is my child. The reason why I wouldn't give them any DNA, because I kept telling, I'm not going to submit to a court's jurisdiction. And that's what he was trying to get me to do, if he even knew what he was doing himself. And had I done anything like that can be construed as a general appearance, then I waived the jurisdictional defect. And so therefore I couldn't do it. I was in jail, and Judge Phillips ordered the Harris County Sheriff's Department, and I'm surprised that I didn't have to fight them, and I was prepared to do that to get my DNA. So they didn't go that far, but he ordered them to get my DNA. I told him, I'm not giving you, I told him, no. That judge is corrupt. And I explained to him, and I started sending the sheriff I-6s about Judge Phillips. But as I was saying, a person who may be the biological father of a child, okay, someone was calling. That doesn't mean anything. You have to, again, people, I better be very careful here to make it clear. You have to, Texas has procedures for you to protect yourself as the child's father. By my wife and I being married on June 6th of 2016, and the fact that Caden was born on August 24, 2016, exactly 2 months and 18 days before we were married. He was born, let me get it right. Caden was born 2 months and 18 days after we were married. So under Texas law, Texas Family Code, section 160.204, subsection A1, there's what they call a presumption of paternity. And that presumption cannot be rebutted unless somehow our marriage could be declared void. I'm not what they call an alleged father. An alleged father is someone who alleges himself to be a child's father, or someone alleges him to be a child's father. But before the Harris County Attorney's Office could have filed a lawsuit to terminate my parental rights with my child, it had to determine that I was not married to the child's mother. They knew I wasn't married to, they knew I was married to my wife. They knew that. It was on record. The lawsuit was filed on May 8th of 2017. The day that they claimed Rachel Johnson and Myron Evans claimed that there was no birth certificate existing, that they couldn't find one. That is what you call extrinsic fraud and perjury, which automatically gets your case reversed, overturned, if the perjury was material to the judgment or the order. It was material to it. Now, let's return to this. I've explained that you must have parental rights, because I need your help, world, because me and Brandon, if this first court of appeal take one other false move, I'm done with it. I got these videos to show you all that I exercise everything. I don't have to keep on. My child is finna have a birthday. It's finna turn 2. We're not finna drag this out. Evidently, they must be waiting for me to get killed or trying to kill me or something. So I'm gonna start getting, you know, I'm gonna have to, because there's no basis for this delay. This is what they call an accelerated appeal. It's supposed to be moved quickly, and it can't, because they keep Judge Phillips, and look like, with all due respect, justices of the first court of appeal. I'm going to listen to Mr. Bob Andrew. I'm going to listen to him now. I've been wanting to listen to him. I was just of the Assistant United States Attorney Bob Andrew on the site. Look, people, on May 14th of this year, 2018, Bob Andrew and the United States Attorney, which President Donald Trump appointed, announced that they had reached a settlement agreement. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, I don't want to lose this here. I'll maybe be able to do it later. I'll pause it and do it next. But I'll tell you what it says. They reached a settlement agreement with Memorial Hermann Hospital in the Texas Medical Center. The very hospital that all from the beginning I have been telling people from the beginning. Nobody was listening to me at first. Now it's going to come home and bite everybody that didn't listen to me, that believe in God and love God and love truth. I've been telling everybody that this was healthcare fraud and retaliation. My wife went to this hospital, Memorial Hermann Hospital, on May 6th. Before she went there, I took her to to a clinic called the Harris Health Center off of, I think it's called Broadway, something like that. I can't remember right now. And because she was suffering a severe, but I do have a video of it, because they had to call the police on her. Brandon was suffering a severe toothache. She checked herself in and sat in the lobby and waited in pain, trying to be seen. Rather than seeing her, they knew she was suffering a severe toothache. Rather than seeing her, they went to lunch, knowing the woman is out here. Everybody that probably has had a toothache knows what she's going through. These people know she's suffering. So they went to lunch, and so Brandon eventually got up after a certain amount of time and asked, how long will it be before I be seen? And the guy that you'll see in the video, go to my video for May 6th. I'll get them out there so I'll tell you the name of them too. For May 6th on YouTube, he told my wife that, well, they went to lunch. She went off. Was she justified in going out? She caused the scene. What did he do? He called the police. Was she justified in going out? You know what? In 1985, I was born in this Dallas police officer's yard with a toothache. His name is Jack, and his wife's name was Lynette. And, they happen to be Caucasian, white. And Jack was at home, and I'm out here mowing his grass, and he hear me out here cursing and swearing, and just because I'm in pain, but I have to mow the grass too. That's just how I was back then. I was dependable, very much more dependable than I am now. But anyway, he came to the door and he said, Dwayne. He went off on me. He was like, he went off. And I got a good mind to call a squad car to lock your ass up, Dwayne. And then I explained to him, Jack, I'm sorry, man. I'm in pain. I got a toothache, and I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know why I didn't think to go try to buy some Orajel or something. I don't know what was wrong with me then, and I'm embarrassed to tell you about it, but that's what happened. But when I told him that I was suffering from a toothache, he's no longer mad at me. He's sympathetic. He's trying to get me. He's trying to doctor on me and get the tooth pain and stop hurting. And so now he was understanding and sympathetic. So with Brandy, she had her toothache. And so she called me, and I got there, and then the video explains what happened from that. So when I left from inside the clinic, the police came and I waited for them and I told them, hey, she's suffering a toothache. And so even the police was understanding. Oh, okay. Yeah, shit. So there was no problem. So the man in there, he was telling me to take my wife over to LBJ. But I knew she was in pain, so I forgot about Memorial Hermann Hospital having already kidnapped my wife in 2016. And when I got her back, she was a chain smoker, lying this time she was a threat to herself and to others and lied. And they took her that time out on North Gessner. And I had to call 911 and do all kind of crazy stuff to get her out of there. And the reason why they do this is because of healthcare fraud. Because of healthcare fraud, which is why Assistant United States Attorney Andrew Bob, after hearing me explain all this to him in early May, instructed me how to get a formal complaint filed with the IOG of the United States Department of Health and Human Services, and then tell him, hey man, they're going to investigate, they're going to get it to my desk, and I'll make a determination whether or not I will bring yet another complaint for healthcare fraud against the same hospital. And if anybody wants to doubt that say that I'm lying, then I'll just let you hear the audio of me talking to United States Attorney Andrew Bob, or Bob Andrew, telling me how to get these son of a bitches for this evil shit that they doing. Now, so before I continue to read this, I take my wife over to Memorial Hermann Hospital on May 6, 2017, Saturday. And I go back to complete with my uncle a job dealing with working on this woman's transmission to her car. So not much later than after I return back, and we're going to drop the screen on this transmission, try to determine how much fluid is in here, and see if we need to, the screen is clogged or what we're going to replace the screen, because these cars now, you just can't check your some of these cars, you just cannot check your transmission fluid. You have to do other things to check your transmission fluid. So that means they want you to take it to the dealer. Now, so you have to spend all this money just to get your transmission fluid checked or whatever. But I then received a call from my wife saying, Dwayne, you got to come get Caden. For what? They won't let me leave. What you mean they won't let you leave? They won't let me leave. You got to come get Caden. Oh man, goddamn shit. So I get in my car and I go to Memorial Hermann Hospital in the Texas Medical Center. For some reason, something tell me, man, turn your phone on. Because my mind was kind of, I wasn't even really thinking about recording, but normally I'm always thinking about recording but I don't know, my mind was pretty much still at this transmission, because I don't like, when I'm doing something, I don't like being stopped. I get upset with my mom, my dad, anybody that stops me when I'm doing something. And I guess that's probably because it be hot. But anyway, the video you see, I go in and I turn the video on. My phone record on. So I go in there, you hear me saying to my wife, okay, what's the problem? And she started off telling me they trying to act like I act, look. So they acting, huh? They acting. So just the fact that she used the word acting kind of didn't sit well with me, because right now I'm busy and I'm unlocked. I can't be parked out here too long. Because they'll tow my vehicle. This is for emergency parking only, and so I got to be quick. So I'm like, no, I ain't got time for all that. Wait a minute. She said they trying to act. Man, ain't no acting. So from that point, you'll see the woman. Her name is Laura. She's the first woman you see in the video. She's the one that tells me I can't be recording. That's not true. That's not true. All but I think 2 states do not allow. I'll probably put that up on YouTube later. That you can't record. You can record. They're recording you. They're recording you. Certain places you can't record. But with my wife's consent, and that's my wife, I can record. Only way I can, if I consent to the recording and she not consent, I can record. Now, But anyway, they are saying that I came in there with what they call pressure speech. I Googled that and see what that meant. Well, this woman is really something wrong with her. If not only was my speech not pressured, not only was she, okay, I'm going to put the transcript of what she testified to at trial so you can see what, and you look at what she's saying I stated and how I behaved, but look at what the video shows. So you see she's committing perjury. She's committing perjury. Why would she commit perjury? Because she's been assured by the county attorney she won't be prosecuted. That's why she can do that. Now, in the affidavit of removal by Paul Gonzalez, there was no Myron Evans. Myron Evans committed perjury and extrinsic fraud by coming into the court stating that he investigated this case and filed this case for my son, Caden Lee Whitfield. He did not. Myron Evans is a black man born in the United States. Myron Evans is, and Paul Gonzalez is an Hispanic man born in the United States. They are from two different ethnic groups. They have two different identities. Paul Gonzalez has personal knowledge of the investigation that he conducted, not Myron Evans, and he filed this lawsuit. So for Myron Evans to come to court and lie, commit perjury, saying that he filed and investigated this case, he commits a fraud, he commits a crime, okay, so, wow, I mean, look how they just openly, look how just openly commit fraud, and they know that I know, come on, man. So this is okay, so I'm sure enough in her and go, I would have already filed the complaint with the United States Department. And they know goddamn well once the United States help the IOG get their bitch ass, they know automatically, they know what's going to happen then. So you would think they would have backed off from that shit. But anyway, here's why they won't be able to get away with this, y'all. This is a process. Instead of me just reading it, there's a process, procedures, Texas law. So this is what they did. My wife said let's start here. Within 72 hours of the issuance of the OPC, the proper cause hearing is held in which the judge determines whether to hold the person at HCPC until the mental health hearing. The applicant does not have to be present at this hearing. Okay? Now, look at the time, people. Look at this. That's the time sensitive, too. That things have to get done. The mental health hearing must occur within 2 weeks of detention. In Harris County, this final hearing is usually within 8 days. During the mental health hearing, the court determines the appropriate treatment based on testimony provided by the applicant, usually a family member or friend, medical experts, and the patient. The results of the hearing may be dismissal, a court order for outpatient treatment, inpatient hospitalization. Involuntary commitment process for children. So that part I need not read. Okay, now let me explain what happened here, people. The probate judge, has taken a bribe. I'm gonna tell you before now. So when the United States IOG office can conclude their investigation and get it over to the United States Attorney Andrew Bob, and nobody can throw the case no more because we got Donald Trump now, y'all. We got Donald Trump on our side. They'll see. In this case, instead of the way my wife gets from assuming that, okay, I better start. Okay, Wayne, take your time, get it right. These people claim that they was this is what they were doing. Oh, okay. They already were at the time had a lawsuit filed against them for Obamacare healthcare fraud. And my wife became a subject or victim of that healthcare fraud. Anytime my wife goes to a hospital or a clinic, whether it be Martin Luther King or Quentin Meese or wherever she goes, in this state or any other state, hospitals have protocol, and when you visit, and so when she went in there, she told them, they asked her, what brings you in today? Oh, wow, thank you. I got a too severe toothache. I'm in pain, excruciating. Help me. Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay, let's see about getting you some help. But first, let me ask you, and they go into their protocols. They find out your history. So at some point, they always ask me. They will ask you. Go to the hospital. They will ask you, do you have any, part of the protocol is asking you, do you have any mental health issues or problems? A history. Yes. And my wife will have to tell them, yes, I'm been diagnosed as paranoid, schizophrenia, bipolar. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. They also, they want to know how they're going to get paid, whether or not you got insurance too. We're not going to just treat you for free unless you are here under, an emergency. You're brought here by ambulance or a cab, and you can get a cab to take you to I don't know how that's playing out, but I guess the paramedics determined that, it's not such an emergency that you can go to the hospital by way of cab. I'll check the law on how that works. But anyway, so they determine whether or not how they going to get paid for it, and they ask all their questions. So they asked my wife about her mental health, and she told them that she has been previously diagnosed as suffering from a mental illness. Then they asked her about, because they asked me, well, do you hear voices? You'll listen to a video where I made in prison. I know how they do it, because in prison you got a lot. I don't want to get that distracted, but anybody in prison that what they play the crazy role, the psych role, we know how they operate. So we have personal knowledge, and we know what they're looking for. We know so a lot of prison have a lot of reasons for going on the site. Some think that this will help you on your parole. Some think that this will keep you from getting a disciplinary case. And so a lot of prisons like to masturbate in presence of female officers. And then when they write the prison up, the prisoners wait to count time and get a sheet and act like he or she wants to commit suicide, knowing that this is gonna get them. They're gonna have to deal with their prison, so they know that they're gonna cut him down and take him, put him in a mental health observation. They know it's a process. So when my wife was asked whether or not she heard voices, she tell everybody, yes, I hear voices. Do I need to go get my brother's police scanner? Yes. Let me go get my brother's police scanner. Let me show you people how this works and why, so you can see that. Let me demonstrate that they're not dealing with a damn fool. Let me get the keys to my scooter too. But since I'm coming back over here, I just want to pause for a minute. No, I don't want to pause yet. But let me walk down the street, then go into the house and do this. People, I memorized a lot from books. I had a lot of time in prison to self-educate myself. Now, I know that you that see me texting and writing, I know I'm violating the rules. There's a reason for it. But anyway, let me quote what I've learned as it relates to my situation and what I'm about to do. The mysterious organ known as the brain has been a source of wonder. Protected as it is by the thick bones of the skull, the brain has never been easily studied. In fact, so little was known about the brain that it was not until after the 14th century that its basic function was finally understood. Before that time, most scholars believed that the heart in the center of the body controlled thoughts and feelings. This belief was based upon the observation that when the body stopped breathing, life stopped. Or rather, when the heart stopped beating, life stopped, and the body became cold. And let me give you an example of how the mind works. As I learned a lot, and I want to be kind of discreet about what I'm doing. I don't want my neighbors to know I'm doing this like this. But anyway, for example, there are chemicals in your brain. The brain and the mind, they are synonymous. Don't confuse them, because we know the skull houses the brain, the matter. So if I, for example, with my finger touch in hot iron, my finger will transmit through the electricity and the chemicals a message to my brain, the center of my body, and it will process that information. And in a split second, no sooner than it receives that message, send a signal or a message to my finger telling it to move. And you hear people say, ouch! Okay, I'm resuming recording. This is a scan. I want to demonstrate something for you. I don't want to change the frequency right now. I just want to wait till something happens. Well, it may be a while, but this radio, it's a radio. It's a scanner, actually. It has a number of frequencies. It has a bank.
Injury laceration. Ambulance 34, 3018 Kincaid, near Friendly Road. Kidnap for 54. Beat, Bravo, Alpha, 3.
Okay. Now, this is the fire department frequency. This is the fire department. Now, the Houston Police Department is on a different radio frequency. That radio will pick up the helicopters in there. It will pick up the airplanes coming in and going out. It will pick up the Houston Police Department. I used to sometimes have to throw police officers out I would be dirty, and when I see them coming, I would have to talk to them first, and I don't want them talking to me, so I would start telling, what y'all doing out of y'all beat? This is 3B44 beat. Y'all supposed to be in 3B54 beat. Then they look at me crazy, like, no, and then they trying to explain to me and convince me that they're not outside their beat. And I act like I half-ass believe them and walk on off. All right, because I know Central, and they can hear me talk to myself, and I throw out their Central, so they hearing that. Central down. So, because one night they got to talk to me, they'd find out I had a warrant out for my arrest out of Dallas. And I've never been able to commit that crime and got those 35 years, but I have to throw them off. And yet they claim that they tell me something is wrong with me. No, there's something wrong with you. Anyway, Brandy, the mind works this way. Brandy was not born hearing voices. That does not make Brandy mentally ill. No. Some guy that she used to like or date, died in her arms when she was 20 years old. And after that, just one day, Brandy was hearing people's voices in her head. And she knew there was no one else there. She could hear people talking. And she got to looking crazy and looking around. Wait a minute now. And look. So let me show you how this is working here. So you all don't think, because these people, they full of shit. Now, with that scanner, that scanner is set to a certain frequency, and I tune into that frequency. And if I want to tune into on the north side of Houston, if I want to listen to